The healthcare and bioscience industry is one of our city's largest industries, with an annual economic impact nearing $43 billion. The workforce in this industry alone is around 200,000 people. Dr. Larry Schlesinger is the president and CEO of the highly respected Texas Biomedical Research Institute. And Larry, we're just so honored to have Texas Biomed thriving the way it is in our city of San Antonio. Tell us a little bit about the year that just passed. What were your major accomplishments of the year?
You know, our work, the Institute continues to grow, and we continue to invest heavily in our strategic plan. We're in the back half of that, so a lot of things happening in modernizing the campus, let me just say that, because we are building because of the business, that is to reach the capacity we need.
You must have 10 building projects underway.
We do. We have about $240 million.
And some are very significant, BSL labs and
correct
animal health
Our
facilities.
New maximum biocontainment lab on campus is the only new project in the world. And it's here on our campus, and it's going to just increase our current capacity to do this kind of work safely.
I think most San Antonians really have no idea about the significance of what is occurring there. And much of this has grown and expanded and been fleshed out on your watch as the CEO. And you've brought the idea of creating a world-class, unique infectious disease center. Given what we went through with the pandemic as a country, and given the threats around the world, biomedical threats, that would be just a really powerful vision and accomplishment. Talk about your vision.
Yeah, the vision, well, first of all, back in 2017 when I came, and having been heavily involved in the National Institutes of Health for many, many years, I realized the success of Texas Biomed, in part from an economic standpoint, needed to be to diversify our revenue base. And perhaps the most important thing we did, which is now very important regarding the new administration, is that we now have a growing business arm to the Institute called Applied Science and Innovation, where we do more or less contract science with the government, commercial partners worldwide, including recently, I know you were honored in Japan. We're working with pharmaceutical companies in Japan. This kind of research is allowing me to see our discovery research move forward to application and clinical trials, which ultimately is the goal of the Institute, right, is to make discoveries that make it to the clinic.
Over the years, I've measured how San Antonio ranks in each of the major kinds of biosciences activities: clinical, research, corporate entities, medical education. And one of the things that jumps off the page when you compare in the research arena is Texas Biomed.
Yeah.
It's our claim to fame in the biosciences, has been for a lot of years. Tell folks a little bit about the role that you played during the pandemic.
So we had restructured our institute ahead of the pandemic, and I had, in some respects, worried and predicted there would be one. So we started one of our important building projects in 2018, finished in 19. It was a large biocontainment level 3, one of our containment facilities. That facility became the place where we did all our COVID-19 vaccine work. It was March 20th of 2020 when the chief scientific officer at Pfizer called us, said, "You seem to be ahead of the field. We had worked with the primates and we have this vaccine, but the FDA won't let us start clinical trials without preclinical work. So this work needs to be done before it gets to humans and be safe and effective." And so we signed with them, and we were able to start that work. As a result of that, Novavax, Regeneron, and I know a lot of people in the audience now have heard these stories, enabled us to really move forward, accelerate vaccine and therapeutic development for COVID-19. That work continues, by the way. We're now interested in developing universal vaccines that will be more effective against a broader range of viruses that we know, surely will have going forward.
And of course, the primates, the monkeys colonies, various kinds, are unique.
They are.
Within the United States.
They are.
Even globally, we have people come here from other countries.
Yes.
To utilize that resource. Just talk a little bit about that, because that's one thing that does strike
Well,
San Antonio.
I think the role that our precious animals play in biomedical research is often misunderstood in social media and the press. We have 150 dedicated employees to health and well-being of these animals.
Including a new building to serve as a hospital for them.
We have a brand new hospital opening in March of 2026. We have new facilities with heated floors. One big misnomer is suffering of these animals. Do you know our protocols prevent that from happening? Mm-hmm. Our animals are treated with care, and they are a precious resource to enable us to have new cures, new shots in your arm.
And they're also essential to human beings getting health care around the world. Talk about that.
So, for example, our newest discovery and work that we've done is another deadly virus called the Marburg virus. The work we did in our primates now has resulted in a vaccine in Rwanda saving lives. Now, because it's a deadly vaccine, it can't go through all the phase trials that we normally talk about, phase 2 and 3. And the animal rule means that the work we do, the regulated work we do in our animals, is what allows the FDA to allow us to use a vaccine for people. Yeah. So the connection to human health is there. Yeah. Now, there are alternatives that are talked about, these so-called newer alternative methodologies, but they're not ready for prime time. So it's going to be validating them more and more with animal models to get to the final solution.
You're going to become the chair of Biomed SA, which is our citywide initiative to shore up the biosciences. Correct. Put it simply, that's the purpose of Biomed SA.
Yes.
Enhance, strengthen San Antonio's biomedical capabilities. Yeah. As we said, we have almost 200,000 people. It's our largest employer in San Antonio, all of the biosciences. How would you assess San Antonio's emergence as a biomedical center?
We are, as an ecosystem, nicely prepared for that growth, okay? We have incredible relationships. The integration of UT San Antonio now, a strong partner of Texas Biomed, the private sector, whether it be Velocity or others in town. So from an infrastructure...
Military medicine.
And military medicine. And Lackland is right down the street from Texas Biomed.
12,000 people work at the Brooke Army Medical Center, at the hospital there, in a broad range of innovative work.
They are. But here's what I want to say. The $43 million or $1 billion that you've talked about is healthcare and biosciences. If you look at the investment in biosciences, we could do better. Yeah. And I think that because the infrastructure is there, we can succeed. Let me say that I think the future of the economy in San Antonio, in my opinion, needs to move more towards a knowledge-based economy.
Absolutely.
If you think about high-paying jobs, if you think about talent recruitment, if you think about the spillover to education, I think more and more investment in the biosciences, which is really a cure to you, the pill, the shot, I think San Antonio can do extraordinary things in the next 10 to 20 years.
We could be a world center, and thanks to Texas Biomed, in large measure, be thought of globally as a city that heals. It's a quote that we came up with early on in the development of Biomed SA. And I'm really excited that you're going to be the chair there, because you bring this global vision, and you're doing it at Texas Biomed. So I think we're very fortunate in that respect. Quickly think through what grade you would give first the accomplishments at Biomed SA this last year, and also your kind of early grade on how we're doing in the larger biomedical sector of San Antonio. What would you say?
I'm generally a very realistic grader. So I would say that both organizations, Biomed SA under Heather Hansen's leadership, and the work they're doing to try to embrace the economy of bioscience, I think they're be striving. And I will not give us an A yet, because I'm a restless leader. We need to modernize our campus, solidify our relationships. One of the things you'll be hearing about in the next year or two is our markedly growing portfolio in the Department of Defense, Department of War, Department of Defense, to increase our arsenal of countermeasures. That'll be a big growth area, allow us to get to an A, in my opinion.
What's good for the biosciences is good for San Antonio. What's good for Texas Biomed is good for San Antonio. So thank you for your leadership, and thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you, Henry.